on, boys and girls, ladies and gents? Welcome back. Glad you made it. It's another so production. We're doing it on Monday, April the 10th, 2023. Let's rock and roll. It's so exciting to be alive. I am, man, what an exhilarating weekend. A lot went down and up, and we're going to discuss it all. We're going to have some fun. Again, if it's your first time joining me, buckle up, buckle down wherever you are right now, whether you're in Toronto, whether you're out there in BC on the West Coast, whether you're further down south in the US, further down south than that in Mexico, South America, move it over to Africa, cross over to Europe, dive into Asia, hop on a little plane, grab a boat, start swimming. We're heading over to Australia, New Zealand, wherever else you are, the islands, North Pole, South Pole, as per usual, wherever you are. Again, if it's your first time, we do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Where can you find these videos? On Instagram. Follow me there if you like. Subscribe on YouTube for the full-length videos. And check out patreon.com/robsadri if you'd like to fiscally support the show and see it grow before your eyes. Otherwise, enjoy the show. We do it, baby. And again, if you've been with me for some time, you know what it is. We're going to get down, and we're going to have some fun today because it's Monday. Friggin' Monday. I'm excited to be back. I missed y'all. I hope you're doing well wherever the fuck you are right now. Let's get a sip of this. There's so much to discuss. Boys and girls, we'll ease into it. Eventually today's gonna be it's gonna be an interesting episode. We'll see how it goes, but there's definitely something in there that will, man, oh man, I'm excited. Well, not too excited but we'll get into it and we'll see how it goes, because it's a doozy of a story, boys and girls, ladies and gents. But let us start smooth with something. Let's start with the basics. Like, how was your weekend? How was my weekend? I'm glad you asked. Thank you for asking. My weekend was fine. At one point I did do laundry. I tackled the laundry. I have it's a little laundry basket that I'll put my laundry in, and I'll take it all the way down to the basement. It's a shared situation. It's a communal. We do it OG here. It's a communal laundry room. And right now one of the elevators in the building is down, which is a bummer because, the movement doesn't stop. People don't be like, oh, well, if it's just one elevator, I'm only going to go up and down half the time. No, it's just the same amount, but one less elevator, which means every time you are going inside the elevator, one, it's taking longer for it to arrive on your floor. Two, it's probably going to be, it's good. You're playing human Tetris in there because it stops at every floor and everybody gets in and everybody's busy. Nobody's gonna be like, nah, you go. There's 4 or 5 people and you go, hey, that's fine. I'll wait another 5 to 10 minutes. And it's an older building. It's a building with some mileage on it, so it's not the fastest elevator. It takes some time. It's not as old as some of the buildings that still have manual labor involved. I'm talking somebody cranking them wheels downstairs, put more coal in the elevator or whatever. We need more coal in this elevator, start, fire it up, fire up. They'll say that. Or you'll have a lady or a gentleman standing in the elevator guiding you up and down so you don't lose direction. It's not that old, but it is a slower paced elevator is all I'm trying to say. And I got into the elevator trying to take my basket of laundry downstairs, no problemo. Somebody gets in, a beautiful neighbor with a doggo, a lovely doggo, love doggos. A dog person myself, an animal person, really love all the animals. But this is nothing, it's nothing big, it's nothing major, but I just wanted to share with you. So I'm just like, I finished dropping off a load downstairs. I'm coming back up now and I got my laundry basket, and here's a lady with her dog, and the dog is cute, beautiful golden retriever, and she starts, what do you do with the laundry? Because I don't want to, now I'm in here, it's a small elevator, it's not the biggest size, it's a medium-sized elevator. I got the laundry basket in my hand. I'm just like, I'm not going to hug the laundry basket. I'm just like hanging onto it with one hand, and I didn't notice, but for a good while, the beautiful golden retriever was licking my laundry basket, and that's where I am today. That's where I'm at right now. It's nothing, it's nothing upsetting. It's not exciting either. I wasn't like, because what do you do there? And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, and that's cool. I'm like, oh, no worries. And absolutely, I do mean that from the bottom of my heart, but that's where I'm at, right? Like, it's just, it's, what do you do? Because it's like a laundry basket is made, I can't wash the laundry basket. Not to say I don't even care, dude. I don't know, what's a little bit of a dog lick here and there, you know what I mean? And if it's your own dog, lick it all, I don't care. But if it's not your own dog, and that's cool too. I've been licked by dogs that are not mine. I've had things of mine that were lit, but it's just like the laundry basket, dude. That's where my, like, I'm just doing laundry to clean the clothing items. Now this beautiful doggo is licking the basket. I mean, I can't wash the basket. It's just whatever. It's fine. I'm fine with it. I'm cool with it. I enjoy it. I love it, as a matter of fact. Before maybe, who knows? Changes are coming in the next few months. Hopefully, before I, if I should ever depart this location, if you will, maybe if I see the dog on the out, maybe I'll just like get down on my knees and give his or her earlobe a nice lick. So that's just like, just to be like, this is how it feels, fella, lady, and I'm cool with it. But that's nothing too major. Again, like I said, we're starting off and we're gonna, because today's gonna be, there's something in there that'll make us all think and question aspects of life. But we'll get there slowly, please. Bear with me today. We're building it up. You're like, get into, no, I'm building it up. Let me share a little teeny tiny story before we get moving along. It was several months since I did a whole, upper body, chest area, abdominal area, pubic bone area, manscaping, if you will. It had been several months. So I did that today, and I feel great. I feel fresh. I'm like fucking... And that's the thing. A lot of times people are like, what can I do to make myself, feel a little bit physically more in shape? Or like, fellas, and some ladies, depending on your hormones and your overall genetic makeup, a lot of times, a lot of people think I got to get in the gym or like get outside, and those are all wonderful classic things. You should, diet, exercise, yes, but you want to feel a little bit like tightened up, baby. You want to shave it down. That's what... Oh man, it looks like I've been hitting the gym twice as hard, and I've not been hitting the gym, but it looks as if I've been hitting it twice as hard. If anybody asks, you'd be like, how hard does he hit it? Twice as hard. That's how hard he hits it. So I shaved everything. I look like a hairless cat in this area. All this is like, and I love the first few days are lovely because it's like smooth, it's nice. A couple of days after might get a little bit but after, the fifth day is like everything is smooth sailing from there. But I did, everything. I'm talking nutsack, I'm talking fucking pubic bone region, I'm talking lower abdomen, mid to upper abdomen, chesticles are all cleaned up. It's just like, it's just trimming. It's just what it is. Because it's been like fall, winter time, and your boy's not been particularly in any sort of relations. So it's like, who am I? What it is that I like to keep warm in winter time. But right now, daddy was like, let's fucking go to town with this little hair removal device, if you will. And I did it, and I feel great. I just want to share that with you. My testicles are shiny, they're glistening right now. It looks immaculate. I'm proud of them, and I hope that one day you'll be proud of them too. But that's just where I am today in life. So getting my old laundry basket licked, no big deal. Shaving the old nut sacks, that was you take the W's where you can, and I took it there. I took it there, and I felt great about it. And I hope you guys and gals consider doing the same thing, because you're like, yeah, what if I want to get a little bit toned? Dude, you trim it down, you automatically get toned, like 5 to 10% more toned, easily, minimum. So I'm just saying. But I'm not condoning anything. I'm also for, I also do appreciate it. You're like going, I'm whatever. I don't have time. It's not my thing. And I don't, to each their own. But every once in a while, you give the old, bought a nice shaveroo. It's particular, maintenance. And it's just like, yes, I'm ready for spring. I'm ready for summer. So that's where I am today, man. But other than that, I think about all sorts of big things, small things, things that are each and every one of our minds. Like, I, for one, have a difficult time going to bed not knowing, when should you decide on how many number of beads you're gonna, we'll get into it like this. If you're gonna be gifting somebody vaginal or anal beads, how do you know how many beads should be on that string of beads? You know what I mean? Like, that's something that's, it hasn't come up for me yet. But I'm that type of mofo that'll like to, I like to think ahead. I like to plan ahead. I like to know what's on the horizon. And should there be a situation where there needs to be, you know, I'm supposed to be gifting somebody, and it's like, how many beads do you go? Do you go with one? Do you go with one ball on a bead string? Do you do two balls on a string of beads? Do you do three balls? Four balls? What about five? Now we're getting, six. Whoa, man. Seven? Fella, lady? 8, 9, how many, and it gets me nervous. It gives me a little bit of anxiety. Because has the situation come up? No, absolutely. But I'll be damned if there's going to be a situation where whatever it is, man, you never know when it's going to go down. You never know when it's going to go. You get invited somewhere, or it's a thing, and everybody's supposed to get somebody something thoughtful, meaningful from the heart, and it's that sort of thing. It's that sort of, you're the fella who shows up with like, oh, I'm sorry, and we're opening gifts today. We're opening. Oh, who brought this? They'll say, oh, they'll go around. Mike brought this. Lucy brought that. They'll get to me, and I'm all like, man, everybody's got like great toys, great gifts. It's all fantastic, but it's my first. I don't know, and I'll be all like, don't worry about it. You'll open it up later. It's fine. I'll be like, no, let's all open it up here, and they'll open up the gift that I'll bring, and it's like, how do I know? Do I go with just one loose ball? Do I go with two balls? And what sizes of balls do you get somebody? Like, because I've seen videos and I'm confused as to, there are longer strings of beads that are smaller in size. The size of the beads are smaller. There's medium-sized beads with, it's like 5, 6 beads, and it's medium. And then there's, obviously, you can keep going up and up. I don't want to ever like put anybody like in a, you don't want to go, I don't want to go too big. That's my thing. I don't want to go anything like bigger than a tennis ball. I'm not doing that. Like, that's just like, that's presumptuous on my behalf, first of all, and that's the thing. I don't want to be like, yeah, maybe you're not there yet. Which one of us is really? But that's the whole thing. I'm just like concerned because, I don't want to be embarrassed, dog. You show up to a party with the wrong size of beads and the wrong number too. God, how embarrassing is that? No, thank you. So I'm doing my research. I think I'm just going to go with something like mid-size, because that's the thing. And people will see that, like mid-size balls and like 6 of them, which makes sense, dude. Ladies, it makes sense. 6 makes sense. It's not too much. It's not too little. 6, 7, 8. I'm not going above 8. I'm not bringing you a string of beads higher than the number 8. That's just that's just rude at that point. That's just because that's like, again, I don't know, but again, I do want to do a little bit of homework, and that's what do you do? These are the questions that keep me up at night. These are the things that I'm concerned. And I'm sure, again, it's one of those things that you're like, if I'm thinking it, somebody else is too. And I'm so happy you guys were thinking it, because like, we're all sharing. That's all. And it's all growth. It's all growth in any direction, really. Let me get a sip of this bad boy. A lot of things are happening. So much is happening all the time. It's so wonderful to be alive and experiencing all of it. And you hear different things, and there's, where do I even begin? I think, there's great things. How, if you want to, right now we're living in one of the most, it's great. Seriously, societies, we're doing great, despite the fact that there's so many, like, but that's the beauty. I love it. It's more space for talking. It's more space for listening to each other's stories and our life experiences. And that's, at the end of the day, I just want to see people happy, having fun, having a good old time, slanging DNV, heavy D and heavy vag and peeing game going on. It gets my heart warmed up. It gets my soul going. It's just like, that's what I'm there for. So, but there's so many different, but I just want everybody to like make sure whatever you're consuming is like right for you. Whatever you're doing is right for you, because everybody's like different. Everybody's got their own different, again, overall makeup as how to go about this life. What do you put in your body? What do you consume? What do you think? What do you say? All of it, and it all depends on you. So but that's great news, because there's like a product. There's something for everyone. Literally something for everyone. There's right now drinks right now being. Right now, it's never been a better time to be trans, dude. Ladies, beer companies are coming out just, promoting beers. Bud Light is saying if you drink our beers, you're going to be transing faster and better. How crazy is that? I never, that's what, but I should, we all should have suspected it. It's not called Bud Heavy. It's not called Bud Heavy. It's Bud Light, fam. And that's what it's built in, I think. So that's great news. If you want to be like, if you're in the transing game right now, transing around, baby, you wanna skip a couple of steps. You wanna take a little bit of extra, you know. It's that juice, baby. It's that juice that'll get the trans going. I think, and I don't know if it's like one formula for like male to female versus female to male. I don't know. But am I happy to see that there's a beer on the market that you'll drink and start transing? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Somebody should have thought of it earlier. I mean, if it can come in a drink form, for those adults, of course, who are, if that's your thing, by all means, God bless, do it up. But it's nice to see that, man. It is nice to see that. But at the same rate, I don't want just like companies, because it's that time where like, we're and this sort of thing is always gonna, and people like, I love it because like everything goes back and forth until we find that sweet little Goldilocks zone and everything, right? But I don't want like major companies or like, I don't like it when people just like, if you're pandering, I'm not, if you just put your money where your mouth is. That's the thing. Because a lot of, like, if it's with a company, any company, whether it's like it's a beverage company or a clothing company, if it's Nike or Bud Light or whoever else, it's never like, these decisions don't get made on the bottom floor, but it's not like you don't go into like Nike manufacturing and all of a sudden whoever's sewing those shoes is like, we should be, I think we should be giving a little bit more attention to our trans athlete. That conversation doesn't happen on the ground. Like, that conversation is up in the, it's like top 3 people probably have that conversation. But that's if it comes up, you can't just be like, I like to see, if you're gonna talk the talk, you should be able to walk the walk too. If you're gonna be like, our company is like, transcend, I'm calling it right now, dude. This should be a stat. Any company that declares they're like, because like everybody else is like just chill with everybody, just doing you don't go outside and be like, I'm cool with this particular group of people. Like, you don't announce because that'd be weird. But some people want to be like in the corporate world, or like, let's just make sure, in case anybody was wondering, we're cool with whatever, this, that, and the other, whatever the thing is at the time. But I say you gotta put your money where your mouth is, fam. You gotta put your money where your mouth is. You gotta put your wiener where your mouth is, because it's no, like, that's what I want to see. Commitment, fam. I want to see commitment, doggy. I want to see somebody, a CEO who's like, yes, this particular company, whatever the company is, we're going, and I'm chopping it off right now as a demonstration to show allegiance. And because people be talking, people be saying things, you hear words. Ally. I don't even, like, that's too much work. I just, I have enough energy for this, barely. You know what I mean? Like, and I, like, that's the thing. I love and respect everybody, but it's like, that's what it, so if you're going to be coming in there and be like, our company, I want to see it chopped off, dude. I want to see it chopped off or sewn on, in whichever case, lady, maybe it's a lady CEO or a CFO, whatever, dog. I want to see it chopped, because that's what it is. That's how I know you're fully committed to that, and it's not just like fair weather friend sort of thing because it's hot right now, whatever it is, and then you come in like 5 months later, you're not, like, I want to see if it's a priority for you. Put it on the table, chop it off. That's how I know you're committed. Otherwise, you're just saying things. Otherwise, it's empty promises. Point is, this whole, like, this, because we're going to be talking about this until eventually, like, because everything needs to be talked about and everything needs to get sorted out. There's no clear-cut answers as to, and I don't know nothing about nothing. The only thing that I do know is that I was, you hear so many stories concerning transgenderism, and I've been thinking about the actual procedure, and nobody talks about the actual procedure. Like, I don't care which side you're on. I don't care, like, me, myself, I just love everybody. I don't particularly, if it's not my business, it's just not my business. That's my mentality. It's very simple in my mind. I don't care. It's very like, I love you, and I don't care what you do. As long as it's not affecting me, I don't care. That's the That's the motto. I don't care. That's it goes a long way. But I have been thinking about the actual, because a lot of times you hear about like, and there's different levels to that too, because there's people that just like, they just declare themselves trans, and that's just like, to somebody who's actually gotten the actual surgery, that I wonder how they feel. Like a grown person who's actually gone through the years of like hormone therapy, chopping it off, stapling it on, going back for like reconstruction. And then somebody just rolls in and be like, yeah, I'm trans too. How does that, and within that subculture, how does that like, or is it like, we're all equally in this? I mean, some are clearly more involved than others. You know what I mean? Some are doing like actual like, and I don't know, because like that's the thing. If you say, but that's what I want to see, because I think it's just like, you can talk the talk, fam. You can talk the talk, but when it comes down to it, are you willing to put it on the line and just be like, yeah, right there, So this whole idea of trans and like trans, I was curious. I'm still curious, because I'm genuinely like, how does it look? And I hadn't ever looked it up in like with, so I Googled it. I'm like, what do post-op badges look like? Because I wanted to see, because I'm like, let's check it out. And boy, oh boy, clicked on a couple of websites. Ladies and gents, I don't know what to tell you. It's, they say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. They also say beauty is subjective. They also say like, what even is beauty? It's like everyone's, and that's fine, yes. But I looked at about 10 to 20 photos on a few websites, because they had them displayed out at before and after. No faces, just like close up of like before after. Man, ladies and gents, boys and girls, it's how do you even, I'm having a difficult time. I'm still like, again, I'll go back to, I'm still pissed about the fact that I got circumcised. I wasn't, you know what I mean? I still want that turtleneck back, but even that aside, even that, objectively trying to look at the vages and be like, yo, what percentage of those vages that I saw last night doing my research, my in-depth research as a, street researcher, what if I gun in my head, katana to my nuts, I had to be like, 20 vages, what percent of these vages would you hit? I'm being completely honest. There were maybe like one or two in there that were like, we can maybe, we can, if the lighting is, if it's shot in a particular angle. I'm just saying objectively, like, because that's what it, because like that's the thing, people talk about it, but you don't even know like what you're, and especially young folks, it's good to, at a certain age, if that's like, I don't know what's, it's just, how do you, it's like, how do you trust somebody to be like, it's not like, you walk in, you're trusting some, because it's relatively new. It's not that, it's like, the actual, like the tech is new, the terminology is new, the ideas are relatively new in history. We haven't had a whole, we haven't had thousands of years of this. This is relatively new, and it's debatable as how, but I'm not here to talk about those things. I'm objectively looking, because this isn't a thing where you're like, because everybody's got their body, and then like there's a person who's like, I'm gonna, I'll take it upon my own to be like, yes, are you unhappy with the way you, I'm gonna take some, I'm gonna take a knife, I'm gonna take some, scissors, I don't know what the instrument is, but I'm gonna, cut something off and rebuild you another thing. And I was just like, looking at the pictures, I'm sorry to say, not that pleasing. Not that, you know, it's not the worst thing. Definitely not the worst thing. But like, you know, but that's just like subjective, like, you know, like objectively looking at it, my subjective opinion. That's just how I feel about it, you know. Um, it looks painful. I'm sure it is. It looks, because it's like, so now you see it, now you don't, sort of deal, right? And it is, you know, people, and I'm like, okay, the the female vag is like, you know, it lubes itself up, it spits out. It's just like, you know, I'm a vag right now, dude. You know what I mean? I'll just be like, I'll just produce a little bit of wetness because I'm a vag. I'll do that if I'm you know, rag vag, biological rag vag. I'd just be like self lubricating. I'd be just like, you know, we're walking, you're walking, I'm with you. I'm just gonna leak a little bit, and just for the fuck of it, you know what I mean? Because so you never know. And it's when it's time to, you know, when it's time to get down, mommy, when it's time to get down, daddy, that thing is like, you know, that thing starts spitting up. That thing starts, you know, for if it's like, you know, everybody's got different like levels of spitting out and whatnot, but everybody's like, you know, it's built in. It's just like, whoa, what's going on? Free lube all day, every day. It's just like what it is. So I'm like thinking, even visually, if you get the, if you can make it even look like a, will it do the spitting? You know, because like, or is it dry? What do you gotta do? Do you gotta like constantly carry a bottle of lube and lube it up? Do they give you insertions for like a little lube dispenser and then maybe like a hidden button, so every time it's about to go down, you hit the button on the ribs, discharge of the old synthetic lube? You know, but like use the good stuff. Don't get stingy there, because I don't know. I don't. That's just like one aspect of the other aspects of it are like, again, the real biological, physical female reg beautiful female vag. It's got different compartments. It's got different areas of storage. It's got friggin', you know, it's got a shelf here. It's got a cupboard there. It's got a hood there. It's got a little, you know, it's, and it all comes in different shapes, and it's fine and it's fancy. But that's, and each part is like, you know, you hit it a little bit here. Oh, what's happening there? You take a little over here. Oh, what's going on? And it's all set, and it's all connected to tissues and organs and nerve endings, which are built in. That's like the OG built-in nerve endings, fam. OG natural nerve endings connected to tissues and organs, which correspond with your body and mind, to be able to be like, oh, this. Oh, somebody's hitting that. Oh, that clit's being hit right now, isn't that clit? You feel me? That clit's being, you feel that right in your head. Somebody's hitting that clit. You feel it because it's all connected. Mind, body, spirit shit. It's all connected. Somebody's going to town fucking like, right there, right there. A little bit of tongue action right there. Just like, and it's all connected, so you feel the orgasm. Hopefully. That's the goal. That's the intent. So I'm just like looking at this now. Former peen, current vag, it kind of looks like a vag, but like, do the components work? Because I hear like the labia is made out of the portions of the nutsack, but how does it work though? How would you feel like it's a, how would a man's body feel like it's having a labia when it's not designed to have a labia? Just scientific question, purely out of curiosity, because I'm like, how does that work? And like the clit, it's again built-in system with nerve. Again, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. Have I been, you know, were offers given to me to like doctor? I'll doctor. I doctor for free. I doctor without borders. I doctor without permission. I doctor without certification. Because like, I do it for the love of the game, fam. I don't do it for the trophies. I don't do it for the sex, drugs, and rock and roll lifestyle of doctors. I do it for just the DR, just those two initials, right? Just, that's what, and the period after. But like, that's all I do it for. Doctor, you know, period, whatevs. I do it. But how would you, if you have like as a trans person, like, do you, if somebody's hitting that clit now, they've made you a new clit, how does, because I feel like it wouldn't be connected. I feel like it just be on the surface areas. Like you gotta, what did they shave down the peen and then just like be like smaller peen? Like if it's like the mushroom head is, I guess, shaved, I don't know. And then if you hit it, because it's not connected through the tissues and the nerve endings and this, you know what happens? And I was trying to find out. I'm like, do people orgasm? Who try? And it's you know, I don't know. Like, what could you? So, some say it takes some time, but yes, you'll be able to. But like, would you orgasm as a female then? Like, would you actually have? Because like, there's no there's no G spot inside of you. Well, debatable if but like I'm just talking pure. So like if somebody's going inside your vag, shouldn't they be like reaching to hit a G spot to give you an orgasm or like be able to like stimulate the clit so that you do? And if the clit is not connected to the hardware is there, but the wiring's not properly connected, or maybe it is. I don't know. How does that work? Because it's like not built for it. But I'm just wondering, man. So do you get, as a male, if you transition to a female, do you get a male orgasm? And then, then would you be jizzing out of your vag? But then where would it? I'm confused. I'm just so confused. And it's, God. And if you get a female who does, reverses, fake peen situation, are you shooting loads? Or is your penis like more sensitive because it was made out of, how does it work? I'm just confused and I have questions. And there's still, I've heard some people talk about it, but again, because it is like you hear it constantly, but then it's like you hear people supporting it without actually like many people know what, like, it's new territories. We're stepping into new territories, ladies and gentlemen, and that's what it is. I want to see if you're supporting it fully, like, put your money where your mouth is, first of all. Second of all, if there is a way to be like drinking your way to trans and others have been going through surgery, what a bummer to find that out. You're like, man, I should have just like down 24 Bud Lights and I can trans, which I don't know, dude. I don't know what the question, I don't have the answers. Never pretended that I do. I just do ask a couple of questions here and there. Hopefully, we can all grow from it. That's the whole point. So I hope if you're on your, whatever part of your life you're in right now, whatever you're doing, let's keep doing it, baby. Keep doing it, but we're doing it together. Let's just figure it out together, and I believe in us. Quick little recap of the UFC 287, which was fantastic. Oh man, super just exciting to watch these fights. I watched it from beginning to end. So much went, like, I'm so thankful for everybody. I love the athletes, I love the fighters, I love it's the whole subculture of the UFC, the culture of sports, and how that could be. It's just, very much appreciative of the fact that it goes down. And there was other events that went down at the UFC as well, man. Trumpy Poo went down, which was pretty dope, not gonna lie, fam, because that's like, you see, that is a very rare moment where you have just like natural organic solidarity. 45's there. You look at the whole picture, big picture, people are vibing. People are vibing. You look at the big picture, Trump's there, people are there, all sorts of people vibing. America just had a natural organic solidarity moment. It felt really cool to watch that. And it felt, I don't know, you're like, this is natural. This is like, he's there, surrounded by peepsies, naturally, organically, working in solidarity. It's beautiful. I wish I was there to be like, USA, USA, you know what I mean? That's just like, and I'm not, but something I don't know what it is. Are you ever attracted or drawn to other things that are like, I'm like, USA, you know what I mean? If I was right there, baby, right there. Just maybe shed up like little teeny tiny tear. You don't know what can happen at any moment. But that was beautiful, and man, I was just excited to watch I always get excited as I sit down and I try to watch as many of the fights as I can. Two of the fights that I was really looking forward to was Masvidal versus Burns, and obviously Izzy versus Alex. For my, I'm very appreciative, like, watching everybody fight. I'm very, but some characters, some cats, you just like, again, I'm a fan of the sport, and again, certain people you just like. There's a, you root for them. You want them to succeed. You want them to do well, and they are all successful. They are all doing well in their own realms. All champs in my eye. Yeah, I was just a little bit like, I know Masvidal said he wants to retire, and like, I respect his decision. I believe the fact, but that's what he's electrifying. He's dynamic. He's friggin' entertaining. He's been a hell of a fighter. Put on so many great events and shows. The Van Askren knockout with the knee, probably that's one of my favorite knockouts in MMA that I can recall. So having said that, am I sad to see him potentially not fight? We don't know. It's not set in concrete. Again, it's his decision, and I, genuinely from the heart, I wish everybody the best out there, and I'm sure he's going to go out there and kick butt, whatever else he decides to do after. I believe he's he's doing his own promotion, if I'm not mistaken, so that's pretty fucking dope. Fucking keep on rocking and rolling, that's one. But then Izzy, my boy, what's going on right there with the right there, dude? Killed it. Congratulations. He's back. He's back. Did he ever leave? He didn't leave. Call him the comeback kid. Call him the, who else was a comeback kid on this weekend? The one and only, the OG comeback kid. Who am I talking about? Jesus. So, are certain things, happening? Yeah. It was really, oh man, that friggin' right there, I had to sit back and just take it in for it. I knew it, because seeing Izzy for the past few, been watching a few minutes here and there, just seeing his face, seeing his demeanor, I'm like, this is gonna go down. It's gonna be one of the best fights ever. I just knew, but I was too excited to even talk about it, because it's just what it is. When you feel like, again, a couple of fighters who you root for, who you want them to do well, you're like, oh, I don't even want, like, you just go in there, do your thing, and I just I just sit back and enjoy the show. But that's what I saw, his face, I saw the way he's walking, the way he's carrying him, so he's like laser focused, and he went in there, and I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. I just love the way he's so friggin' smart in the ring, so technical, so well composed is the word. Welcome, like, for every millisecond, he didn't, man. One of my favorite fights, dude. One of my favorite fights. That knockout, unbelievable, and you could just see it in Alex's face. He didn't even because that's the thing. And this is that's what I love about it. It just keeps getting better and better. It's one of those sports where it's constantly evolving, and I love that, because it's things that you can extrapolate and apply it to your life. It gives me juice. It gets me excited. It's certainly a thing that I can't do, so I admire it from afar. But hell of a fight, and there's so many wonderful other fights as well. Just putting that out there. Keep on doing your things, ladies and gents. We're kicking butt and taking names all around the world. Exciting stuff are always happening, and yeah, man, thank you for the show. That was an exciting part of my weekend. Not gonna lie. Boys and girls, we're getting warmed up. Now we're getting warmed up. Now Daddy's getting warmed up. But before we go into should we get into it right now, or maybe we're gonna wait for this one today, boy. We're gonna wait for this one, right? We're just gonna slow it down just a bit before we crank it up, cause it's gonna get crunk. Oh, it will get crunk. But don't you doubt it, it will get crunk. And I don't know how I feel about a particular thing, but we'll get there when we get there. But before getting there, other thoughts that are on my mind. Pre-chewed food. Pre-chewed food restaurants. Pre-chewed food restaurants are all the craze. You're like, no, they're not. But let's say we make it a thing. Aren't you tired of just going to restaurants and having to sit there and chew your own food? Fuck it up. Pre-chewed food. Pre-chewed food restaurants are the shit. I don't know if they exist. If they don't, we're patenting it right now, right here, for the first time ever. Because anybody can, first of all, chew their own food. But Lame, boring, been there, done that. Give me somebody else's saliva mixed in with the food. And now we're talking about an experience that we'll never forget. Will we? I don't think so. We're not going to forget. But here's the pros and cons of this bad boy. Let's go through it together. In terms of, ever go into a restaurant and sit down and be like, man, first I got to put in the time to order and they're going to bring it and the food's all warm. It's too warm. I can't eat it now. I got to wait in it. But guess what, baby? We're closing deals today. So you have time to sit around for it to cool down. All right, you got to chew that shit. And how many times have you burnt yourself chewing that hot food? Because you got to close that deal, whatever the deal is that you got to close for the deal of the day. You know what I'm saying there? Deal closer. Whereas in our restaurant, the food will be served in the chef's mouth, directly to your mouth. He's chewing from the kitchen to the dance floor. No, kitchen floor, no. Restaurant dining area, the dining floor. There it is. So he'll chew and he'll break. That's the thing, because a lot of times you only see the chef in the back if you take the time to go to the back. This chef up in your face, going back and forth, pacing, doing sets back and forth. You're like, why won't he just bring a bucket of food and chew it right? He could do that, and we could some locations will do that. Chef, bucket of food, chewing right in your mouth, right there. Ladies always be like, why don't you take me out somewhere nice? Why don't you take me out something to experience something different, nice. All I see are dead birds with as few stones as possible. Sometimes no stones at all. Just, I like to keep the birds alive. I don't want to. That's just an analogy. I'm not like I love birds. Just putting that out there. Love all animals, but it's one of those things where you're like, wasting time, wasting energy. Are you tired of eating and also burning calories, which is very counterintuitive if you think about it? You should be saving all the energy and putting it towards whatever the fuck it is you're doing in life, like conquering that whatever thing that it is that you're concentrating on conquering right now at this moment. And guess what? There's going to be another thing right after that thing that you want to conquer right now for you to conquer after. So you're going to need all the energy you can get. So why not step into the pre-chewed food restaurant where the food is pre-chewed for you? We'll do the heavy lifting for you. And that's the thing too. Don't you hate it when you take a bite out of food and like it's and whatever the food may be, you're getting let's get a shawarma downtown, and it's all great, but all the ingredients are all in different parts of the bite that you took. There's a little bit of tzatziki, a little bit of the jalapeno, a little bit of the old. Did you get chicken or beef? Maybe you got it, and they're all mixed in different parts of your mouth, and you're like, let me chew this and mix it up and like get it. Whereas the pre-chewed food has already been mixed up for you, fam. Think about that. Again, how much time are you wasting chewing? Think about that. So that's beautiful. Other pros, I'm guessing, if somebody's pre-chewing your food for you, you're getting their little bit of that DNA is going in you. And we all know everyone can use a little dosage of extra DNA these days. Just get the immune system back up and running again. Because a lot of times people are like, oh man, how do I boost the immune system? Nothing boosts the immune system like a little bit of saliva on your food. So instead of like, some people be like, oh, I got hair in my food. Oh, what is this? A dead rat in my food. And always run to the kitchen complaining, not this guy. Not this guy. I mean, no rats or like hair in our food, but if we are to open up a joint, the food will be pre-chewed because that's what it is. Just providing something different. That's all I want to do, baby. And I'm tired of, so many people have grown extra large jaws because they've been chewing on steaks, and now you're out because there's a fine line between, chewing properly so you get like, a fine whatevs, but at the end of the day, you don't want to be just fucking like jawed out because you've been chewing on Kobe beef for like 7 hours. Ever chew on Kobe beef for 7 hours? Yeah. Look at how many deals you could have closed. Look at how many deals you could have opened. Look at your life right now. Go to pre-chewed destinations right now. Stop living in the past. Look forward to the future. and enjoy life, ladies and gentlemen. Cream pies are not at the menu at this restaurant, but they're not even related to the topic that we were just talking. And now we're just going to segue smoothly to cream pies for a second. What are they good for, cream pies? I mean, it's best to cream pie when you're like for the environment. If you're the type of fella or lady that's like, I'm not down with plastics, I'm not down with rubbers, cream pie is the way to go. That's what I say. That's what I say. It's great for the environment in the sense that, yeah, you're not wasting, rubbers after rubbers. Waste of time, waste of energy, waste of environment. On the other hand, the environment, there is that cleanup factor. Should you want to clean up, you got to resort to some sort of Kleenex or toilet paper, which is trees, but then again, somebody's got to we can't be zero emissions or whatever. You got to put something out there. Even if you're not putting something out there into the environment, you got to put something out there into the environment. You can't just be like, I'm not going to put anything out there. I do it on a regular. I put something out there just to be like, I'm doing my part. So, but which would you rather put into the environment? I'm the type of fellow that, like, if we're going to, I rather put Kleenex or toilet paper in the environment than put a rubber in the. But then again, at the same rate, there is different cons to this game as well. If you're gonna cream pie, if you're gonna be engaging in cream pie activity, before we get into the cons, let's talk about the pros. It'll warm you up for a few seconds. It'll be the most wonderful feeling of warmth and whatever the fuck. Doesn't this feel nice? It's very similar to the vibes where you're outside and you got like knee deep in snow and no shelter inside, and you're like, how can I warm myself up? By releasing a little bit of urine down your pants. That's how, and this is very similar in how it feels, or for a brief moment you feel fantastic. Great, now we're all warmed up. Fantastic, beautiful. Another aspect of this cream pie game, should you dabble, should you engage, there's probably a chance where you're going to want to get up and walk, and you're going to be dripping. So that's a con. That's a con right there, because it's a little bit messier. Whereas a condom, if you're using rubber, relatively easier, because you know where it went. You know what it's. Where is it? In the condom. But if you've just, if you cream pie both parties, you can get up and you can walk around, but you're going to be, if you're not going to clean up first, you're going to be, you can't just walk, you can't just go, and that's, sometimes they say that was the downfall of the cream pie era. They say people wanted to cream pie, and both partners, as soon as they wanted to like cream pie, but the desire was to immediately get up after and walk, just walk around, whatevs, we're walking around, just cream pie, we're walking around. But then, statistics show that 75% of couples who cream pied and walked around happen to get a little bit of cream pie all over the whatevs, a little bit on the bed, a little bit on the floor, a little bit on the roof. I don't know where you're walking. You could be on the ceiling getting jizz on the ceiling if you just cream pied. And that's fine. It's all part of the game. So there's pros and cons to all these games, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So many things happening, and I'm excited. Because it's Monday. So let's get into now this one is, I don't even know how to get into it. We're just gonna get into it. And I've been thinking and writing and oh man, let me get another sip of this, dude. So I'm gonna go in from different angles. We're gonna have to go in from different angles. Let's just say hypothetically speaking, there is a game show. There's a game show, you're a contestant on the game show. Oh, what's going on? It's a game show, you're a contestant on the game show. A couple of answers that are gonna be available to you to choose from. Topics of discussion. or topic of discussion, or your fill in the blank. Let's play a little bit fill in the blank. What did the Dalai Lama say to the young boy? So what did the Dalai Lama, or the Dalai Lama, what did the Dalai Lama tell a young boy? Was it A, true happiness comes from detachment from material goods, or some shit like that? You know, A, let's put that in the basket. A, true happiness comes from detachment of the material world. Another famous, because the Dalai Lama is a Buddhist. He's in line with the Buddha crew. As a B, what's another famous Buddhist saying? Don't look in the past, man. Don't live in the past, man. Don't be fucking looking into the future either. Where's it at right now? It's right here. The fucking present. That's where it's at. Buddha said that. Check it out. Or C, suck on my tongue. The answer may surprise you. Ladies and gentlemen, there has been before we get into it, let's just, how did this all begin? How did it begin? I guess it began, a little bit of it is not, I'm not here to we're gonna get into this together, but how did it begin? I guess it began with Buddha, for one, which is, I'm fine. I'm more of a JC guy myself. I'm more and I don't but I'm not even I'm not in any position to it just works a little bit for me, and I don't even know if I do it properly or not, but that's something to be a little bit of it's good to have something that you can be yes, that is, certain guidelines or whatever, and I don't, again, terrible example of, but the point is, there, it started, I guess, with Buddha. Buddha was a bad boy. Buddha was a bad boy prince, prancing around, spending a lot of dough, smashing a couple of hoes right here or there, you know what it is? Getting down and dirty, until one day he's enough of this life of excess, enough of this life of hedonism, if you will. I'm gonna it's conveniently said that right after he got a chick pregnant. He's like, you know what, babe, enough of this hedonism, you know what I'm saying? This hedonism mean heating up. Too much hedonism does not well for a man or woman. And he's like, you know what, baby mama came in, it's like, I want half, I'm walking out, you're not showing up to baby classes, you don't remember to pick up milk on the way. Yeah, it's just not gonna work. I'm gonna do 50-50. He's like, you know what? How about this? Y'all hold on to everything. I'm gonna just go. You guys take this, whatever. I'm princing out here. You just chill. I'm gonna go out there and sit under a tree and meditate until I find spirituality and I get enlightened. That's how bad he wanted out of the relationship. He's like, I'm gonna get out there, because before that, they didn't even know what he was talking about. They're like, what are you talking about? He's like, I wanna go out there and sit under a tree, on a hill. If you want me, where's the prick? Under a tree, on a hill. That's how bad he didn't want to be a dad, and I get that. That's like the OG, one of the OG before becoming Buddha, one of the OG deadbeat dads, which was respect. To deadbeat dads? No, but there's some there. He's like, I'll be there. I'm not even out of reach, dude. You want me? I'm under that tree, on that hill, fucking right there till I get what it is that I want. And it's just avoiding responsibility or something. Some along those lines. I'm not quite sure what the messaging was, but nonetheless, beautiful dude. Eventually fucking became Zen City. The story writes itself, really. So, fast forward to modern day history. We no longer have the Buddha, and I don't even know how things really work in anything. But we do have the Dalai Lama, which I don't know what that is. How do I know the Dalai Lama? I don't know the Dalai Lama that well. I do know he was trying to, at one point he made an appearance in 7 Years in Tibet, I think he was trying to hit on Brad Pitt. He was trying to get at that Brad Pitt. Brad was like, nah. And 7 years of them be like, the Dalai Lama going up to Brad Pitt's character, be like, let me hit it. Be like, nah. 7 years of that. Back and forth, a lot of struggles, I think, if I remember correctly. That's what it was about, right? 7 years in Tibet or something. So that's how I know the Dalai Lama. Besides that, I don't know much else. But I don't even know if this is reals or not. If it isn't, then it was a hypothetical question or premise, scenario. But if it's not because this is what it is. I saw something, then I looked into it momentarily, briefly. There is a video surfaced of the Dalai Lama. He's given a speech of sorts, or what? He's there. He's Dalai Lamaing. He's sitting down. People around him, all lamaed up, and there's a question section. There's a young man. There's a boy. He's not even a man, but he's a boy, young child. He's on the mic asking the Dalai Lama if he could ask him to give him a hug. He asked him to give him a hug. He's like, can I hug you? And, there's a moment of Dalai Lama with his, he's got a few people around him. They're exchanging words and whatnot. And then eventually the Dalai Lama responds to the young man that, yes, you may approach and you can hug. And what unraveled soon after is again, what did we have? We had a contestant. We said hypothetically, let's hypothetically guess what did the Dalai Lama, once the boy approaches the Dalai Lama, what did the Dalai Lama say to the boy? A, detachment from material goods is a way to happiness, or some shit like that. B, do not live in the past or the future. It's right here that matters. Or C, suck my tongue. The answer may surprise you. He said, suck my tongue. He said it. He sucked his... Oh, God. Oh, God. He didn't... It wasn't a straight... Here's what it is that... First of all, I should, again, say this. All of this has been up until now. Again, I saw the video. There's a short video online. If you type in the Dalai Lama kisses boy, comes up. If you type in the Dalai Lama sucked on a young boy's tongue and asked him to suck his tongue, I don't know if it's real, because these days we be living in those times where you see all sorts of things that are like, oh, isn't this cool that we just took whoever's face and put it in this thing, or but this doesn't look like one of those things. But then again, I don't know. So if it's like a legit video, I'm hoping that it's a fugazi. To be honest with you, it's one of those scenarios where I'm like, let this be a sick pervert's depiction of whatever the fuck. But it also may be, because I was trying to verify, because I'm like, before because I don't know. Seems that the boy went in there asking for a hug. Seems like the Dalai Lama kisses him on the lips and sticks his tongue out and asks the boy to suck on his tongue, and the boy is young. It's a young boy. And there's moments of hugging very firmly and then passing on words of wisdom. So that apparently is a thing. That might, again, I don't know. Somebody should look into this. And if it is a thing, I believe the videos that I saw were from like 9 days ago, or like I did also see one that was dated back about a month ago. Man, again, if this is a fake video situation, I just happen to see a video. But if it's a reals videos, there's what are we doing here? What is going on? Is that like, because people, man. Would anybody be okay if it's a real video? Let's go on the assumption that it is in fact a real video. Let's go on the assumption that if it was a real video, would you be okay with your kid getting? Would you be okay for a man, any man, to ask your child, boy or girl, to suck on his tongue? Under any circumstance, literally, there isn't one, but because I don't know how it works, but then like, maybe, because like some might say, I don't want to, I'm not, you might have, it's one of those, there needs to be a talk. There needs to be a talk, to say the least. Because, again, I don't want to... Oh, man, it's just one of those moments where you're like, damn it, it's the Dalai Lama's son. And I don't even know too much about the Dalai Lama. God. Ah, man, it's just like, it's a bummer, but also, like, we do need to, like, because that does not seem... like, just too many things, if you want to hug a kid, why are strangers hugging other strangers' kids? What are we doing here? God, oh no, it's a holy thing. You wouldn't get it because you're not into the holiness. And a lot of, that's one of those situations where you'd probably feel like a lot of fathers and priests locked up in the Vatican that can't get out in this way. Like, he was just being spiritual, man. That was a spiritual tongue action. You don't know, man. That is. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know if it's true, but would you be okay under any circumstance a grown man saying, "Here, young child, suck on my tongue"? And again, I'm hoping that this video is fake. If it isn't, it's 2023. Do we need to have this? Because, like, I don't know, man. I don't know, dog. If it's gonna be like, I don't know what it is. It's just weird all around to me. That's just how I feel about it. And if you say it's culture, then I'm gonna be like, your culture's weird. If your culture, any culture that does that, if that's something that cultures do, and I know plenty of cultures that do weird shit, and that's culture too. A lot of times people like to talk about culture. Like, culture. Sometimes cultures be doing weird shit. Sometimes cultures be doing weird shit all around the world. All around the world, cultures be doing weird shit. Sometimes we look at something that a particular culture does in a particular set and time, and we look at that and we're like, that's horrible. We look at, oh man, historically, FGM, horrible. And then reversed it and put it into another context and are like, celebrating FGM. So different things means different things at different... It's all about marketing, isn't it? It's all about marketing. No, but what I'm saying is that, would you be okay? And, yeah, I didn't want to show the video, one, because there's a kid in the video, and how is it going to impact this kid? I don't know. Is it going to impact this kid? I mean, oh boy. These are so this wasn't particularly it's just a weird one. That's why I was like, oh man, it's going to be, and I didn't know how to like even talk about it or discuss it, but we did it. and we're doing it. Somebody needs to have a talk if this is something that's, you know, I believe. And if it's a thing, why didn't we hear about it? Not that, you know, it's pretty fucking weird, and it's pretty big. If the Dalai Lama's tongue kissing young boys, you should be hearing all about it. If it's a legit video and he's tongue kissing, and you're like, that's not tongue kissing. He was only touching his tongue to the kid's that's not kissing. Man, there's a lot of pussyfooting around the pedo neighborhood, if you feel me. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, man, is that how he blesses people? Through tongue action, dude? That's just like a bummer, dude. Zen City, what happened to the basic Zen City? Just fucking go sit on a tree, man. Sit under a tree, and this is what happens when you sit on a tree too much, man. You need to be up and about and moving. That's why I'm like, nah, not for this guy. I need to be up and moving, doing things. Because that's, and I'm not saying anything, but I'm just saying. I don't even know what I'm saying. The point is that's because if he's like, man, and maybe that's what he's doing to the young kids. If he's blessing young kids with his tongue, who knows how he's blessing old adults, dude. He's probably fucking like, cock out, just bless. Here's a little bit of, you know, here, have some of this. Right there. Right there. That's that holy water right there. Just hitting people on top of the forehead with his cock, dude. God. With the Dalai Lama hit people on the forehead with his cock, I mean, like, seeing that depiction, now it's in my head. Now I can't, like, you know, if I see you doing that with a kid, I'd be like, this is in front of cameras, in front of all the people in the world and shit. God knows what kind of, you know, man, that's a next level. Oh, man. So, but if it is a thing, and if it's like, again, I don't want to, it's a weird one, dude. It's a weird one. Just blessing people with his tongue and shit. But that's the thing too, like, how much blessing would you get on the, like, if children are getting blessed with the tongue action, how much blessedness would you get as an adult if you were to, like, be like, I'm down with this, let us get blessed? Because I don't know. What if it's like I don't know how it works, but like, I'll tell you this, man. I'll tell you this. Sitting under a tree and meditating, you know, doesn't work for everyone. This guy's like multi-millionaire and then some. Just, which is weird when you think about these things. When you look at any group, that's why I feel fun. Like, it's when it gets to groups and like, just do your own thing, man. People should be as, like, you know, but also like we should just, holy spiritual leaders fucking freak me out, dude. In any, it could be in any religion, or it's unfortunately, that's not the way. I wouldn't want to feel that way, but for the most part, like, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of good that goes down as well, but when this happens, it doesn't really help the image. And again, I don't know if this is a true event, so if you search Dalai Lama kissing young boy on the end, you'll see it. And God, I'm hoping it's a fake. I'm hoping it's like an April Fool's thing, dude. I'm hoping it's an April Fool's thing. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring it in, and let's, you know, it was we went through the ups and downs today, baby. We went through the ups and downs. We're rocking and rolling. We are, you know, it's, so many things are happening in and around the world. Whatever you're doing, I wish you the best of luck in your adventures of life, that is. Where can you find these videos? I'm glad you guys, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Instagram, on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. That's where you can get the actual full-length videos. That's right. And then patreon.com/RobSadri. If you'd like to fiscally support the show, give us a little bit, some back. Your boy highly appreciates it, and we'll put every dime towards making the show grow bigger and stronger and faster. And I'm again here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you for all the love and support. Kick out the new fucking, like, it's springtime. Like, kick it off with I'm feeling excited, baby. Let's go get it out there. And also, somebody should look into that and have a little chat with the Dalai Lama. But besides that, you know, fucking peace out.